When autumn winds start to howl through the Mediterranean, cruising sailors head for safe havens and establish a base for the winter season. This week, we join a group of international sailors who escape the chill of winter by sailing south to Egypt to cruise the out islands of the Red Sea. With them, we'll encounter dolphins in the wild and experience the rich beauty of Red Sea reefs, as well as the tragedies that have occurred on them. Ashore, we'll learn about the nesting habits of osprey and how to handle the creatures of the shoreline.
And they won't sting you.
And we'll learn it from a family who've made these islands a natural school for their children. Join us this week for winter activities on the Red Sea coast of Egypt.
I wanted to break away to see the world.
I longed for excitement, the romance of travel.
So we built a boat.
And now we travel the oceans. Join us as we voyage to distant shores. The Red Sea coast of Egypt is, at first glance, a dramatic barren landscape, but the characteristics that make it a desert coast also make it an attractive resort destination. Year-round sunshine, dry hot days, cool nights, sandy beaches, and clear turquoise seas, a playground for a variety of water sport activities. For these and other reasons we're about to discover, some of our cruising friends have decided to make Abu Teeg Marina in the Red Sea resort town of El Gouna their base for the winter. So while our sailboat Two-Step is hauled out for seasonal maintenance back in Turkey, we join them to check out Egypt as a cruising destination.
After cruising with these friends to countries of the eastern Mediterranean last summer, they headed to Egypt, where at Port Said they entered the Suez Canal, then headed south through the Gulf of Suez to the Red Sea, where they made the resort town of El Gouna their base for the winter. This is just north of the main town of Hurghada, where there's an international airport with connections to Cairo and major European cities. There's also good ground transportation to the historical sites on the Nile River in Aswan, Luxor, and Cairo.
And it's a very easy place to get to for the winter, very affordable, and if you can wait for the southerly winds to take you back to the Suez Canal, it's easy to get back to the Mediterranean in the spring.
Abu Teeg Marina is located in the resort town of El Gouna, which stretches for 10 kilometers along the Red Sea coast. If you want to fly in for a visit, there are 14 hotels to choose from, ranging from intimate guest houses to 5-star beachfront resorts and all the shops, restaurants, and leisure activities you can imagine, including a top-rated dive operation. But for now, we're keen to get out on the water to do some sailing. Bill and Jean, along with a few other sailors spending the winter here, have organized a cruise to the nearby out islands to anchor and do some snorkeling and scuba diving for the next few days. Joining us is longtime friend Tony aboard the motor yacht Lady Coppelia, British friends Chris and Elaine on yacht Ginny, new friends Patricia and Jean-Claude on the French yacht Tolalea, as well as the Variale family aboard the catamaran Aituska.
Cruising in the Red Sea is a little bit different than cruising in the Mediterranean. In the Red Sea, if you get in trouble, if you run aground on a reef or you have any engine trouble or something on your boat breaks or someone gets sick, there are no rescue services in the Red Sea of Egypt. You really have to rely on your own resources and the resources of the people you're cruising with. We did have an experience here this winter with some piracy, and there is no help available, so cruising with another boat, at least one more boat, to us is necessary for safety.
And the more the merrier. It's a nice day for a sail, and Chris, who's made over 70 dives this winter, promises good snorkeling and says we might see dolphins at the reefs he's taking us to.
And if you look ahead, you can just see a light coloured water patch, some water, light coloured. And we're aiming just to go to the right of that, almost dead ahead to the...
So this reef is just out in the middle of nowhere, there's no land right here, just a reef?
No, it's just a reef, it's just a coral reef in the middle of nowhere. This is why they claim so many boats, because there's no obvious sign of them if you don't keep an eye out. You need to be able to see the reefs. You can't navigate in or out of them without actually seeing the actual reef itself.
We okay today?
Yes, well, we've been here many times before and we know the reef and the GPS position we know is accurate.
As we approach the reef, the sailboats furl their sails and turn on their engines for maximum maneuverability between the coral heads. It's a narrow entrance, so we stay close together and enter one at a time.
So when we know who we're going alongside, Gene, you can just put it on the appropriate side.
We're going to try and probably get 4 boats onto one mooring.
Our plan is to pick up one of the moorings placed on the reefs to protect them from damage of anchors. Then we will all tie up to the boat with the mooring. This procedure is called rafting and can be tricky out in the open sea, especially if there are any waves or swell to jostle the boats together. We attach the mooring line to the biggest boat, in this case Lady Coppelia, and then carefully bring the boats up one at a time, protected by at least 4 or 5 fenders between each pair of boats. Although the reef keeps most of the waves out, there is the possibility of occasional big wakes from ships passing on their way north to the Suez Canal. We deliberately leave the lines a little slack and line up the sailboats so the masts aren't side by side. By the time the catamaran Aituska joins the raft, we have 5 boats snugly tied up and can't wait to get in the water to see the dolphins at this reef nicknamed Dolphin House. The dolphins waiting to play with us are bottlenose dolphins, whose length is about 3.5 meters, or around 11 feet, so we feel pretty small and slow swimming with them.
Oh, they're all around him.
Dolphins are generally regarded as one of the most intelligent animal species, and as mammals are much more closely related to humans than they are to any of the fish or other marine creatures here today. They live in groups, called pods, mostly a dozen animals, although watching on the surface you may imagine there are just 2 or 3 in a group. But underwater you realize there are 10 or more dolphins breathing occasionally, instead of 2 or 3 coming up for air more often. As with other advanced carnivores like man, dolphins like to play, and in this way develop coordination. Studies show they spend much of their day playing. In this case, a mother is bringing her child along to get a look at the humans, and the mom on Aituska is bringing her child to look at the dolphins. Who is at the zoo? Oh, you got dolphins around here? What a magical place. We don't have much experience in the Red Sea, but so far everything's been just fantastic. Well, I can't believe we just come into this anchorage, and as we're even just coming in, these dolphins are swimming all around us. It's unbelievable. Incredible place. Well, we seem to have picked a perfect day for it. It's Just a light breeze, sunny. To think it's frozen icy at home.
You're familiar with the system? Yeah.
It's been a while since Paul and I have done any scuba diving, so this afternoon we'll do an easy dive on the reef here to check out our gears so we can join the others for a more advanced wreck dive later on.
As we begin exploring the reefs, we're astonished by the abundance of coral and marine life here. Paradoxically, the hot desert climate that creates such barrenness on the Red Sea coast and the desert out islands is one of the reasons the reefs are so vibrant. Clear skies and intense sunlight provides energy for the growth of corals and the symbiotic algae inside them. Even here, over 100 feet down, the sunlight can still penetrate to support a healthy reef. Many divers agree that the Red Sea has the most spectacular and diverse reefs to be found anywhere on the planet. I've never seen such colorful fish, all kinds of species I've never seen before.
Yeah, it's a very good dive actually. There's some nice coral and some nice fish. As always, the bloody weights end up round the front.
There's so much clutter. Freediving is so much easier than all this clutter, but with scuba you can stay down a long time and get to just sort of sit there and really get to learn a little bit about what the fish do.
The worst part is putting it on or taking it off.
Especially in my case, because I couldn't find my bathing suit this morning.
All right.
Oh, well, that's what I don't normally wear one anyway. So.
Yeah.
Oh, this water's almost colder than it is in the sea there. Spritz off the camera. Now, you gotta turn off the camera now because I couldn't find my bathing suit this morning when the dolphins were in a big hurry, so you have to close off the camera.
We're just heading on to our next location, Tooele Island. And as we go, it's as if the dolphins don't want us to leave. They're just playing around the boats. What a day.
So Tony, tell me about your day today so far. How's it going?
Going very well indeed. The weather's perfect. I had my first dive, serious dive for many years in fact, which was all very successful. The coral was nice, the company is nice, it's beautiful. What more can one want in life? Somebody has to do it. Unfortunately, it's me.
Egypt's out islands are completely deserted. There's no water supply and the shallow reefs make them tricky to approach. The only sign of life is an abandoned military platform left after the conflicts with Israel in the 60s and 70s.
Day one in the Red Sea. What can I say? We've got fabulous weather. It's only April. The water's about 23 degrees. The scenery and anchorages are beautiful. What a beginning to our visit in the area of El Gouna.
Yeah, did I enjoy it? It was fabulous. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was great to see the dolphins just like that, wasn't it? They're usually there, but you know, they're a bit unpredictable, so you can't always guarantee they're going to be in the right place at the right time. But we just hit it right today.
I think they were on their honeymoon because they were all like in two and they were all swimming together.
I'm sure you noticed today there were two of them who were canoodling. You know, there was one which was upside down.
Canoodling, I like
yeah, and the other one was upside down, and the other one was they were just canoodling along. It was just great.
And there was one family that had a baby. It was a bit smaller, and I think it was a baby.
A dolphin honeymoon, I like that.
It's just to be there in the water with them and see them. It's just something else.
They said almost no wind tonight and tomorrow.
And tomorrow, yeah. We've been in here in 20 knots of wind before, and you see the waves all breaking on the reefs out there. But here it's just quite fine, and even there's enough water to tuck in really behind this little spit here if you needed to.
So we heard a story about an outboard motor being stolen. Can you tell us, are there precautions we should all be taking here in the anchorage tonight?
Well, in the middle of the night we heard a lot of shouting and screaming, and I got up and I just saw this boat leaving in a great hurry with a big outboard on the back, and I shouted across to the French boat, "Are you okay?" And he said, "No, they've taken my outboard motor." and so we were a bit on edge for the rest of the time. To say that it was piracy, I think, is probably bordering exaggeration. But you know, if they do get on your boat, then technically that's piracy. So we've all been a little bit more careful since then. We lock our outboards, bring our dinghies up. I actually keep a couple of flares in the cockpit, you know, close by. It might frighten them enough so they wouldn't want to do it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. After a peaceful night, the Variale family, who were taking a one-year sabbatical on their catamaran, invite us aboard.
Will you give me a tour of the boat? Show us around?
So here is the living room.
Wow, it's huge.
It gets even bigger. The table, like when we do long crossings, we put the table down and we put like the cushions on top, and we sleep here and we like watch movies and we play on the big bed. And then the navigation station is there. My dad uses the computer a lot. Here's the kitchen.
Wow, like a real house.
A little bit. Here's the guest room. It's a bit dirty now because Vasco and his friends played here. And this is my bedroom. This my bathroom.
Your own bathroom?
Yep.
Does everybody have their own bathroom?
Yep.
Oh.
Here's the master bedroom. It's like the guest room except opposite. And then here's the bathroom.
Do you have 4 bathrooms then?
Yep. It's a lot. Not like home. At home we only have 2.
Their home is California. They bought the boat in Greece and are homeschooling the kids during the trip.
Do you like living on the boat?
Yes.
What do you like the best about living on the boat?
Because it's beautiful sea life and out of water. It's my scrapbook. Here's a lionfish. We caught this one time. It's a very little one.
So your favorite part is the sea life, all the animals?
Yeah, the sea life. How you pick up the jellyfish? You go under where the tentacles are not, and you pick them up like this. Zack. And then you go like this, Zack, and they won't sting you. When you go snorkeling, you find lots of them. You can pick them up, they're easy. You just need to go under.
What do they feel like?
They feel kind of like jelly, but they're quite hard. You want to hold it?
Okay.
Here. Just slide it.
Ooh! Oh boy. They don't really feel slimy. I thought they might feel slimy. They're just gelatinous. And when they slide off your hand, it's all clean and smooth afterwards. They don't leave anything on it.
This one you can see has tentacles. They're very small. They're just little bumps there. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't touch the tentacles. That's why you have to touch the bottom.
Look, don't try this at home, kids.
This is a crab, and Vasco caught it with his hat and Daddy's hat, actually.
So the hats are both sandy.
Where was he hiding?
Hey, buddy.
He was hiding between 2 rocks, and we pushed him out, and then he came back in. So he liked his spot, but we got him out in the water. You can see all the green. See?
Look at the colors. His claws are
He's pretty
blue.
big.
There's red and green and gold.
It's a pretty big crab.
If we drop him down, will he go to the beach or to the water?
Vasco, can we let him go?
Okay, let's see. There's nothing.
Oh, look, there's another one he's going to.
Come, another one.
He's exhausted. So what's this, guys?
This is an osprey's nest, and I just found something else. This is the head of a trumpet fish.
Oh my goodness!
You see the eyes on the side?
Oh yeah.
So
and a parrotfish, an old
and the wing of a
bones.
bird, and then a bird there.
So this is an old nest that they're not using anymore. Is that right?
But you can see she put the softest stuff on the top too. Sponges, like ropes, which are soft, and seaweed to make it soft.
Like
look, you can see the teeth of an animal.
And look, here's a bone.
So I see Parsons a long time.
Hey, Jack,
en train de manger un mérou.
what have you caught?
This is a grouper,
See him.
marble grouper with black and white, and he was eating a parrotfish, and so it was very easy to catch because he was trying to eat all the parrotfish.
How deep were you, the fish you shot? How deep?
50 centimeters.
Oh, really?
Yes.
50 centimeters, incredible. And you have white, red, yellow, blue, coral. It's West Indies and is below them.
Really?
Hello, Emily.
Qu'est-ce que vous voulez boire? Okay. Daddy, ask Jean-Claude to move it with that long stick.
Oh, he knows it, he knows it.
Happy birthday.
How was the past year? Was it a good year?
Yes, very good year, yes. Every year is a bonus now. We had the sun all day. Fabulous, fabulous.
Lovely color.
Yes. Oh,
incredible
beautiful.
color. Huh?
Yes.
So what's the plan today? We got a new plan for...
Yep, the wind is so good. You can see, you want to zoom in here, this is Tawila Island here. And you can see we're anchored right on this Endeavour Harbour. And so where we will go today is a very famous reef called Abu Nuhas, which is here. And it's the closest reef to the traffic which goes up to the Suez Canal. And so there's at least 3 or 4 wrecks on here. One of them, the Carnatic, dating to 1865 or 1869, I think. And it was on its way to Bombay, full of gin and bottled water.
All right.
But there's no.
Is there nothing left?
No. It's good holding. Okay. I just leave it in the water for a bit now. Clean it off.
Ginny, Lady Capalia.
The wreck we're going to dive on is the Carnatic, a sailing steamship built in the 1860s, just before the opening of the Suez Canal.
So yeah, I'll come on your port side then.
Sailing south from Suez on September 12, 1869, she would have seen conditions much like this. Without waves breaking on the shallow reef, the crew wouldn't have been able to see it, and the Carnatic hit the reef at 1:30 in the morning. But because it was so calm, the captain made the fateful decision to not evacuate the 230 crew and passengers. They served meals on board the next day as usual, and planned to be rescued by another liner they knew would pass by. But the next evening, the ship started to take on water. The order to abandon ship was given too late. Carnatic began to break in half and sink, slipping off the reef to where we see her now. 27 people drowned. Since that fateful night, the reef has had almost 140 years to grow over much of the Carnatic. It is now one of the most beautiful wreck reefs in the Red Sea and is home to an incredible profusion of fish and corals. The structure of the old ship provides safe haven for fish like these masked butterfly fish. What was a tragedy at the time has become a welcome addition for the reef animals and a fabulous dive for scuba and underwater photographers who are lucky enough to have a day calm enough to make the trip out here.
On the rope, I'm sure I could smell it. So I know Patricia is going to make her cake, a cheesecake. Oh, wonderful!
Our voyage to the reefs and out islands of the Red Sea has whet our appetite for more cruising in Egypt.
And so I've always wanted to come to the Red Sea to dive, and so this is the first time we've ever done it. So it's a dream come true for us.
Yeah. Has it lived up to your...
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, we've done a lot of dives here and we've enjoyed it. And there's so much more to do. We've only dived this small area, but we really have enjoyed our winter here. We'll probably come and do another winter as well.
Join us next time as we continue exploring Egypt's Red Sea coast and sail north to transit the Suez Canal.